2 months ago when this mouse was released, it had my interest as it was the first proper clone of the Superlight 2C. I had wanted to try the 2C shape out for a long time, but I never really got the chance because it was insanely expensive. So I decided to buy the A9 Mini Plus for about $50, and out of many ATK mice that I've tried, this one might be the best one. Let's start with the good part of this mouse first. First is the build quality. For the weight, which I'll talk about later, the build quality on this mouse is quite impressive. You can get the sides to flex a little bit only if you press them with both of your hands like this, and even then, there's no creaking whatsoever. And here's a sound test for that. After 2 months of using it extensively, it holds up really well. Still no creaking at all, which is insanely impressive because all the mice with similar weight that I've tried, such as the ATK F1 V2, Ninjutsu Sora V2, and the Cyrox V8, started creaking like crazy after a few months. Second is the weight. With dot skates, the mouse weighs about 41 grams on my scale. With full-size stock skates, it was about 45 grams. The weight balancing is good, not front heavy or back heavy like the X1 V2 Ultimate, and the mouse feels really light and easy to maneuver. However, on the website, it was advertised to be 39 grams plus and minus 3 grams. While 41 grams is still in the range, out of the box, the mouse comes with full skates pre-installed, so being 6 grams away can be really misleading. I do wish ATK could accurately advertise the weight of their mice for once, because this has also happened with the F1 V2 and X1 V2 Ultimate. Or at least they could try pre-installing corner skates or dot skates instead of full-size ones like this. That being said, at 41 grams, I still think it's good, and they do provide some dot skates out of the box, so you don't really have to buy third-party skates to achieve that weight. Third is the skates. I have replaced them with these dot ones because I'm more used to using fast dot skates, but the stock skates were not bad at all. They do make the mouse noticeably heavier, and they are a bit slow due to their gigantic size. They are still really smooth and properly rounded. Compared to stock skates on other mice that I've tried, these are on the better side. Fourth is quality control. Maybe I've hit a jackpot with this one, but I have had no QC problems with this mouse so far. The side buttons feel okay, the scroll wheel feels light, and the steps are well defined. There isn't any base warp as far as I know, and the sensor works perfectly fine. Fifthly is the sensor. It has a PAW 3955 master sensor, and it works just fine like any other recent sensor nowadays. However, unlike the PAW 3950, the 3955 allows one-step DPI adjustments instead of 5. So if you find the DPI on this mouse a bit slower or faster than your old one, you can more finely tune it now. The sensor placement is also good. It's right at the center, unlike the F1 V2 whose sensor position was a bit low. And like most mice now, there's an 8K dongle included. Lastly is the software. For me, ATK WebDriver has always been the best one out there. Apart from having ATK own ads on the first page, the driver is pretty much perfect. The UI is clean and easy to navigate. It has 0.1mm LOD adjustment, sensor rotations, X and Y axis DPI adjustment, and a bunch of other settings. There is also this new sensor virtual offset settings that allows you to virtually move the sensor forward or backwards. While on paper this sounds great, many people who have tried it reported that the feature is not fully functional yet and should not be used. Now for the mid part of this mouse. This session is for features that are not bad but not great either. and whether it's bad or good depends on your personal preference. First is the battery life. On 1K, it lasts me about a week. It has a 200 mAh battery, so it's understandable. I personally have no issues with it, but for those who want to use this on 2K or 4K, you might have to charge it pretty frequently, which can be really inconvenient as the cable provided is quite stiff. Second is the shape. Because it's a 2C clone, the mouse is tiny. For most hand size, fingertip grip is probably the best option. Aggressive claw grip is also doable, but it feels a bit awkward in my opinion. I mainly use fingertip grip, so I quite like the shape, but I wish ATK had added some comfort groups on the clicks because these clicks feel super flat. Overall, the shape is mostly fine, and whether it's good or not depends on your personal hand size and grip style. Thirdly is the side buttons. While in the quality control sections, I said that the side buttons feel okay, which they do. They are not as finely tuned as Razer side buttons, for example. There are still a bit of pre and post travel, and they don't feel as crisp as these ones on the Viper V3 Pro SE or the Death Adder V3 Hyperspeed. They are again mostly fine and way better than the ones on the ATK F1 V2. Fourthly is the coating. It feels chalky and it can get really grippy when your hand starts to sweat a little. It is, however, not really grippy at all when your hand is dry. I prefer something like the smooth touch coating on Razer mice, but the coating on this one is not bad at all. Still, if you live in an area where the weather is usually dry, the coating can be a bit too slippery for you. They do provide some pretty decent universal grip tape out the box, and they are extremely grippy. Many reviewers compare these to the Pulsar Super Grip, and while in terms of grippiness, they are similar. The ones from ATK are smooth to the touch, whereas the Pulsar ones are textured. Now for the bad part, and this is why I believe the mouse is the best ATK mouse I've tried, because I can only find one feature that I can nitpick about, and that's the main clicks. The click implementation on this mouse is a bit loose, so the clicks don't feel as nice and crispy despite using FE opticals, which I consider to be on the crispier side compared to other optical switches. If I slightly press them without actuating the clicks, there are quite a bit of movements, meaning that the clicks are not tightened properly. Compared to the Razer F3 Pro SE, there are barely any movements at all. There are also quite a bit of post-travel and side-to-side wobble as well. With that said, they are still mostly fine, and some of you might not even notice this problem at all. And in-game, this also doesn't bother me much, but I still wish these were tightened a bit more. Overall, while there are still some features that need improving, the A9 Mini Plus is still the best ATK mouse I've ever tried. It's well built, lightweight, and doesn't have any major problem. The overall design is way nicer than the F1 and X1 lineup in my opinion, and it looks clean and somewhat premium. It can sound like I'm overglazing it, but it's because this mouse really surprised me. I only wanted to buy it to try out the new shape, but now it's become one of my favorite mice, even dethroning the Death Adder V3 Hyperspeed, which was my main for quite some time. Anyway, if you have smaller hands or you fingertip grip, or if you're looking for a super light 2C alternative that is 2 or 3 times cheaper, this one might be the one you've been looking for. If you're just looking for a new mouse that is well built and lightweight, this one is a pretty decent choice. However, if you have medium to large hands and use any grip styles other than fingertip, this one is not really suitable for you.
Did you see their faces? Sorry, I should